So one of the most shared sentiments on the internet is probably move in silence. Okay, I cannot scroll on TikTok for 10 minutes without coming across a video that talks about the importance of moving in silence. And every time that I come across such video, my question is always, from who? Okay, because if I can understand moving in silence from colleagues and associates, perhaps even some acquaintances, I cannot even begin to fathom having to move in silence from somebody that I consider a friend. Talk less of my sister or family members. Now, I'm not talking about, cousins and extended family members. I'm talking about a mom or a dad or somebody like that, right? Because think about it. Why would you have to do that? Why would you keep people around you who don't want the best for you? Like, that is just mental to me. I'm so sorry, because I really want you to think about what moving in silence entails. It entails doing your driving license or getting your passport or going for a goal, a dream, an aspiration, something really important to you, right? So if you feel like you have to hide that away from your friend, if you feel like your friend is not going to be happy for you, if you feel like they are literally going to be de-manifesting what you are manifesting for your life, then are you even friends? Like, I'm sorry, and I know nobody want to have these conversations because they're difficult. Everybody just want to heart, the little videos and perhaps go silent on their friends, but nobody wants to get to the nitty-gritty of what's behind this statement, which is that you hate your friend and your friend probably hates you, which is that there is at least resentment going on here. There is secret animosity going on here. There is secret competition going on here. I cannot imagine anything else going on. I am sorry, but it has to be said. Many months ago, I was in community with somebody who meant the world to me. She was like a sister to me, and at some point I found myself like withholding information from her. I found myself hiding things that were going on, little things that was going on in my life. And I really had to sit myself down and think, why is this happening? Like, this is literally like a sister to me. So why do I feel like I have to hide things from her? And I had to be very honest with myself and recognize that it's because I had noticed how she becomes resentful when good things happen in my life. And as an answer to that, I actually started to become resentful, not of her, but of the fact that she was resentful when good things would happen in my life. And the reason why I hadn't cut her off or didn't want to cut her off is because I had gone everywhere with her and told everybody she was my sister. Like, some people believed that we were legit relatives, that we were legit blood sisters, and I didn't want to have to go back and tell people that we are not friends anymore. Like, I was really ashamed, really embarrassed to have to go back to the places that I have gone with her and told everybody that she was my sister, have to go back to those places and have those people ask me, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Right? The coffee shops that we used to go to all the time, the restaurants that we used to go to all the time, the shops that we used to go to all the time, right? I now had to face these people and had to answer this question and say, I don't know. And I just really didn't want that. For whatever reason, I was very ashamed about that. Actually, I was kind of scared of it. Like, the very idea of it really terrified me for the longest time. So I stayed with her in community for a couple of months until the point I no longer could, and I had to end the friendship. And just like I thought, it was hard having to go back to those places where I used to go with her all the time and have to tell these people when they asked me where she was that I didn't know, and have them, being really inquisitive and wanting to know what happened. At first, I would just say, oh, she's okay, she's fine. When they ask, where's XYZ? I say, oh, she's around, she's okay. But with time, obviously, these people saw that, we were no longer friends. And, the most respectful or the most normal of that, they didn't ask, what happened, etc., right? But you did have some very curious people who, kept pressing me about what happened, what is the fallout about, are you guys not friends anymore? And it was very, very hard for me navigating that, because at the same time, I was also navigating my grief from the friendship. But, we are many months later. Everything is okay now, but I wanted to share that with you to show you that if you find yourself not wanting to cut somebody off, even though deep down inside they don't want the best for you, there is an underlying condition there. There is something going on that you really have to assess. You really have to ask yourself, why is it that even though I know I cannot trust this person, even though I know that they don't want the best for me, even though I know that when I'm manifesting something for my life, they are literally de-manifesting. Like, they are literally, I want you to think about it. This is somebody who is praying for you to fail, and yet you stay in community with them. You really need to ask yourself why that is, okay? Because what do you think is going to happen afterwards? You know, once you've moved in silence, after you succeed, what exactly do you think is going to happen? Do you think that your friends are going to rejoice with you? I highly doubt it. I wouldn't, and I didn't in the past. As a matter of fact, let me tell you about the time my friend did her driving license without telling me. Now, if you know anything about getting a driving license in Germany, I don't know anywhere else in the world, but I imagine it's pretty much the same in America, in France, everywhere else. It's a very long process, okay? It can take up to a year and a half. In best case scenario, it's still going to take 8-9 months, right? So this is not something that you can just do, that can just happen, and then, you know, you haven't talked to your friends in 4 or 5 days, and then the day you talk to them, you can tell them about it. No, this is something that has to be planned, okay? You have to study first, you know, for the theory. So the test in Germany is divided in two. First, you have to take a theory test, and then you have to take a test in practice. Again, I believe it's the same pretty much everywhere, right? So you have to study religiously, okay? There are over 1,000 questions for the test that you have to take in theory. I remember having to study literally 1.5 hours every single day in order to nail that test, right? And then after that, you have to get driving lessons, you have to pay for them, you have to plan them. Like, again, I really want to insist on the fact that the whole process does take a whole lot of planning, okay? It's not something that just creeps on you. And my friend, she would go to the driving lessons. I guess at that point she had already passed the theory test, and I just noticed how her shadow changed, okay? Because we were in a very codependent friendship. We used to talk on the phone for like 4 or 5 hours every single day. I know that sounds mental, but you know, we would just rehash the same things over and over again, and we kind of had fun doing it some way, somehow, right? We bonded over that, and I just noticed that her shadow has changed. So she would be in the bus a lot, going to the exact same place, a neighborhood that I won't name in this video, right? So I just thought in the back of my mind that she was dating a guy that lived there, and that she wasn't ready yet to introduce me to him. That's what naive me thought at the time, right? Because I noticed how she would be in the bus, would be on the phone. It was around a 40-45 minute bus ride, so we would be talking and talking and talking, and once, you know, that bus stop comes, she would lie and say that her mom is calling, that came by a law, or she would bring up her son, right? But she would always have an excuse once she got to that, you know, train station in order to be able to leave the phone call. And I had noticed it because it had become, you know, kind of a pattern. But again, I thought, when she was ready, you know, once things really, you know, are, I guess, solid with this guy, she will introduce me to him. So months and months and months and months passed, and one day I'm home. I used to live in another apartment complex back then that was a lot shorter than the one I live in, and I hear somebody hooping like outside of my house. So I hear beep, 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 beep. I'm like, this is crazy. You know, it was weekend, it was Sunday or something. People are trying to rest, and then I hear my bell. I'm like, hey, who is, you know, coming to visit? I wasn't really expecting anybody, but as I opened the door, it's her. She's there standing in front of a car and, you know, expecting for me to be ecstatic for her, okay? Which obviously I wasn't, and she went around and told everybody that I was jealous because she had a car. But that's not what happened. This is why you have to be careful when you hear one-side story from people who are trying to get you to hate the other person. Now, I understand that, you know, every time that we tell a story to somebody, somehow we kind of tarnish the truth a little bit, whether you realize it or not. When you are recounting a story to somebody, you want them to be on your side. That is not something that you are necessarily doing on purpose, but there is always little details that are changing. But when you go and get, you know, a passport or a driving license behind your friend's back, you cannot expect them to be super ecstatic for you right off the bat. Like, I mean, they have questions. I had so many questions. It's not that I was happy that she had a car. Like, I wanted to know, when did she even buy a car? When did she even get a driving license? Why did she feel the need to hide it from me? Like, that was really important to me. I'm so sorry, but things don't work that way. Like, you cannot feel like I'm bad vibe, I'm bad energy, because this is why you hid it from me to begin with, right? You thought that if you told me, it would not happen, okay? So you cannot, after that, just want me to forget about all of it and be super happy and super excited for you. Like, that just, it doesn't work like that, okay? Now, I don't care to go back to every single person that she told the story to the way she wanted in order to get them on my side, you know. Unlike her, I'm not desperate for other people's validation. You know, we are all the villain in somebody's story, and I'm very fine being the villain in a lot of people's story. It's okay, I can live with that. But yeah, be careful when you side with people in arguments when you were not there and actually don't know both sides of the story, because most likely if you heard the other side of the story it would be different, and at the end of the day you won't know where the truth lies. Because like I said, when most people tell a story they kind of change it a little bit, whether they're doing it intentionally or not. But yeah, even though I was happy for her, I was disappointed that she felt like if she told me things wouldn't work out, and then from there I felt we could no longer be friends. So she didn't actually end the friendship with me because I was jealous because she got a car. I actually ended the friendship with her because she felt she needed to hide from me the fact that she was doing her driving license and buying a car. Okay. But yeah, learn from that you cannot actually hide things from your friends and then come back and accuse them of being jealous for not being happy for you. Like, it doesn't work like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that our friends and family members owe us to tell us everything that they do every step of the way, okay? I'm just saying that if they are silent about the process, then they need to be silent about the result. Now, this is obviously impossible with something like a car, right? You're going to eventually find out that your friend has a car, but in the case of a passport or a paper or something like that, I do feel that, you know, the people who did their passport, their citizenship, and hid it from us, they need to keep their passport at home, okay? There is no need for you to bring it and wave it to my face. I actually had a friend that did that once. So if you don't understand, immigrants who come into countries sometimes decide to change citizenship. For example, people who came from Nigeria or Ghana, when they come to the US, some of them after a couple of years they do choose to change citizenship and become American citizen. The same is true for France and for Germany, where I live. So I once had a friend who was getting her citizenship done, and she never told me, even though we were always talking about it. So, you know, on the phone we talk about getting our citizenships done, and she never told me that her citizenship was actually being processed. Fine, her choice, her prerogative. Okay, so what wasn't my surprise to see her one day get posted up at my apartment, actually on my couch right there, and waving, literally waving her passport at my face. I'm like, what is this? What are you doing? You know, and I just stopped the paper to see what it was, and it was a German passport, and I was kind of upset. Like, I was literally quiet, and then there was an awkward moment of silence. I'm not even gonna lie, and I guess she expected more, but what more should I say? If I don't know that you applied for a passport, once you got it, you need to keep it for yourself. You know, she needed to keep that passport at her house and then travel to America or Australia or New Zealand or whatever else people can travel without asking for a visa. When they have German citizenship, I would have seen the pictures on IG, on Facebook, I would have hearted them, liked them, and that would be that, okay? But you cannot come and wave at my face something that you never told me about and expect again for me to be ecstatic for you. I am not going to do that. And if that makes me the bad guy, fine. If that makes me a jealous friend, then I'm good with it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm a human being. Excuse me for having feelings. So yeah, that's how I feel about this whole moving in silence situation, but maybe that's just me. In the closing of this video, I just wanted to remind you, ladies or gentlemen, whoever you are watching this video, that you don't actually have to be friends with people who secretly hate you. You don't have to be in community with people that have secret animosity for you. You don't have to be friends with people who are in a secret competition with you, okay? You deserve friends that want the best for you, okay? I know that my best friend Agnes wants the best for me. I know that my friend Cynthia actually prays in church every Sunday for my channel to blow up, okay? I know that my friend Anna wants the best for me. I know that my sister wants the best for me. She will engage with every video of mine. She will comment, she will like, okay? I know that my mom wants the best for me. I never feel like I have to hide anything from them, okay? I can tell them whatever it is I want, whatever it is I'm working on, my goals, my dreams, my aspiration, and they will wish it for me, okay? They want the best for me. Quick interlude here, even though I look mental, LOL, to say that of course I can never be 100% sure of what my friend Cynthia is praying about, but my point is I don't doubt it, okay? I don't even have an inkling of a doubt that she's praying for anything negative about me, and that is my point here. That is actually the point of this entire video. Okay, if you don't have people around you that want the best for you, then I want to encourage you in this video to actually exit those friendships, exit those connections, okay? You may have to be alone for a while, but hopefully in due time you will find people that genuinely want the best for you, okay? That is at least certainly my wish for you. Thanks for watching. Mwah.